Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. It's a lovely day here and no rain, there's a bit of sunshine, a bit on the cool side, but it's a lovely sort of autumn fresh day outside. Chris has been for a sail this morning with a friend, and I've been trying to get some bits together because I'm working on my little journal. And as you know, I've been participating in Rachel and Bella's collaboration, which is called Best of Brits JJ, and using their beautiful kit that Rachel designed to go alongside with the collaboration, and it's called Whispers of the Manor. And very beautiful papers they are as well. And what I need, because I've got lots of tags that we've been making, if you've been following along with the collaboration, you know that I made a few tags the other day following the lovely Jez's, the ones that she made on her YouTube. And I've also made some following some of the other designers as well. So I've got quite a few journals, and some of them I don't want to put in pockets, but I just want to tuck them on the side. So I'm in need of some hidden paper clips. So I'm on a scrap busting mission as well. So to kill two birds with one stone. If you want to follow along, please do. And yeah, we'll make a few, half a dozen or so little hidden paper clips. So I've got a few things round and about me. I've got some fussy cut flowers. I've got some scraps of paper, torn up some paper strips. I've got little stamps. I've got some tulle. I've got my eyelets, little pink eyelets here. And then I've got some snippets that I made, which you won't have seen the video yet, but I've been making, I did myself a little digi kit with an online, that's out in the public domain, of these lovely herbally type flowers. And so I've been doing some, just sticking them on some card so that I can add to them and stick them on things. And I've got some very scrappy wax melts, not wax melts, wax seals. And so whether I use those or not, I don't know. I've cut out a few little words as well from one of Rachel's word kits, from one of her other, that she always puts a few words in her kits, and I've got lots floating around. And so I made a little prototype for myself this morning, and I've got this tag punch, and I thought, well, I'll just see if it'll work by, popping this inside and using the tab punch to do the top, and then I've put an eyelet through it so that we can hang something from it. And so I'll just show you, I'll just move that out the way. Oh, and sorry, just going back to that a minute. We're now starting week 3 tomorrow, but obviously this video won't be going out for a few days, so we'll be further along in the list. But there's some great creators coming up this week on week 3 and week 4, so we're halfway through. So please carry on and give your support to all these lovely British designers. And yeah, hopefully you'll get some, if you're a journal maker or a crafter, hopefully you'll get lots of inspiration from the ones that are coming over the next 2 weeks. And to follow them, if you type in hashtag Best of Brits JJ, you'll be able to, it'll take you to their websites. So how did I do this little hidden paper clip? I just took a strip, and this is just off This is one of my porch prince's prints, but it does go lovely with Rachel's. And you're not going to see it anyway because it's going to be covered up with some bits and bobs out of Rachel's kits. And so what I've done is I've turned it inside out like so that you've got the worst side uppermost, and folded it in half, and it's just the width of a A4 style size paper that I'm using. So I'm not measuring because it doesn't really matter. You can use smaller strips like this and wider ones. It's just that you won't have such a deep paper clip. And then what I've done is I've folded it back, going past the centre fold by, quite a little way really, because with us using this punch, I want it to be fairly long. And then what I've done is I fold the back one back, but just leaving it slightly longer, and just folded it back like that, making sure that all the edges are together to keep it straight. There we go. And excuse my nails, they're all brown from inking. I'm a non-smoker, so they're not nicotine stained fingers. So I'm just cutting that little excess off, and we'll pop that over there in the bin. And then I'm sliding this inside my punch. Now I don't know the width of this, so it might not fit in the channels properly. So all I'm doing is sliding it as far as it'll go, or as far as I can push it with my fingers, and it will disappear. And then I'm just turning it over, giving it a knock so that it is snug against the wall of this punch. And then I'm going to just, there we go, get hold of my scraps and then give it a knock so it slides out. And there you have a little punch. Now, as you can see, it has gone over this part here. And this is where you're going to be putting your paper clip. So what I did, because I don't want the paper clip to interfere with my eyelet, I'm just going to take a little piece out of there, and then we'll get one of these little paper clips. And if you want to know the length of these, let's have a look. Yeah, it's about 1 inch, which is 5mm. I would say, is it 5mm, 1 inch? So, and then all I'm going to do is slide it down inside that hole, so it comes right down to the bottom. And then, as you can see there, it just sits on the bottom there. And then I'm going to glue, so we'll glue all the sides shut, put some glue around the paper clip. There we go. Smooth it down. And then same on the other side. And then with this, when I'm gluing this side, I'm going to glue that tab at the top there to glue them both together. Glue in the middle. There we go. There we are. And then we're going to get one of our little pink eyelets and pop it in there. And then find one of the ones to go on the back. I think there's only one there. And then get our, whoops, there we are. Oh, I've done it again. Right, make sure I hold it this time. There we go. And give it a squish. Now it might catch the little top of the paper clip, so you might not be able to squish it right down, but it is firm. So there we are. We've got two little paper clips there, and we'll get another one, shall we? And I'm going to cut this top off here. This one's going to be a little bit bigger, and as I'm scrap busting, I'm not going to trim it down, because when you do that you end up with more scraps, and the idea of this is to do a bit of scrap busting, and then we'll fold it back again, keeping the edges straight, and then same again, just leaving it making it a tad shorter than the one behind. And these are just so easy to do. And then we'll trim off that excess there. I'm trying to make it straight. There we go. It was a bit off. And then we'll do the same again. I'll pop that right in. There we go. And it's quite effective, I think, having the little tab on the side. So that one has actually gone through, so our paper clip should slide in it quite nicely. There we are. Same again. Toto's in a chatty mood, so excuse if you can hear her in the background. It's not so bad when she's chatting, it's when she starts screeching that like that noise she makes there. It does get a bit ear piercing. Oh, I've got a fruit fly. We've got lots of we've got a little bit of an orchard in the land that we've got at the back. We've got about an acre of land, and when we first moved in there was nothing there. It was just used to have sheep on, and we didn't want to go down the small holding route apart from having chickens, so we planted a Bramley apple, a Rayburn apple, a couple of cherry trees, and a pear tree, conference pear tree. And this year it's been, oh crikey, I can't tell you how many bags of apples we've taken to church and let everybody help themselves. And plums, we've got 2 plum trees as well, and they were just laden. The branches were that heavy, they were almost touching the floor. So it's been fantastic. The bees have really done their job. pollinating. My next door neighbour, he's got the same. He's got a few apple trees and a couple of massive pear trees that they must be about 60 foot high, and hence we get a lot of wasps in, you know, here as well, which can be a bit of a pain, but because they do kill my bees occasionally. So yes, it's been a very good year for the fruits. So for my lunch I've been having an apple and a pear every day. So it's been good for the weight loss as well. Because I'm trying to lose weight because I've got knee problems, and I went to see the consultant yesterday, and I've got no cartilage left in my right knee, so that's what's causing me all the pain. We wondered if because I tripped on one of the dog toys, we wondered if I'd actually torn the ligament, but he thinks the pain all stems from having bone on bone. So he's told me to think about, you know, he would have put me down for a knee replacement, but I said, isn't there anything we can do without going to that drastic a measure? So it's a matter of stronger painkillers rather than paracetamol and brufen. And he's given me a steroid injection in my knee, and see how it is over the next couple of months. But if it's still bad, then because of quality of life, etc., it looks like I'm going to have my knee done. So, joy of joys of getting old. Getting old. So yeah, so hence I've been trying to lose some weight as well. So yeah. Right, let's do another one. And I'm just wondering, these ones will be a tad small, I think. Let's have a look. You can do them this way, where you put your, let's have a look, we could do that, couldn't we? No, I'll stick with the same method because I want to do danglies. So we'll get another couple of strips. There's another little one there. Nice little narrow one. There are that many different types of methods of making these paper clips. It's amazing, really, just how many different sorts you can do. So let's have a look. Let's pop that in there. Now I'll turn this over just to make sure that I'm central, which I'm not. With that being a bit of a narrow one, there's a bit more play. Let me just, there we go. Just tap it over. I'll try and centralise it a little bit with my scissors. Yeah, I think we're about halfway there. There we go. Yeah, not too bad. So we'll just do these 4 to be going on with, and then that's 2 for each journal. I've tried to thin my glue down a little bit as well with some acetone. Oops, I don't want to do that yet. On the tab, because I want to glue the other side. There we go. Try and straighten that into the middle. There we go. And then close the top. There we are. So that's the base is ready. I'll just put my glue back a minute. And we'll just pop that into there with a and I'll slip down to the bottom. I don't want to split the bag, otherwise we'll have a craft a lunch of those. Oops. There we go. Oops. There we are. Okay. So what we're going to do now is do a bit of inking. If I can find my dauber. Just a little bit around the edges. There we go. Turn it over. And it's lovely when you're using your papers because they match your kit as well. And then, you know, if you've got some scrappy pieces that don't match your kit, you just cover it up with pieces, you know, that make it blend in with your style of journal that you're making. So there we go. Not too heavy on the ink because it is a very pastel coloured. So here we've got some of the little floral pieces. This one I put a little tag on it. So, you know, you can actually use these like this. And then we've got some scrappy bits of tulle that can go behind. Let me just ink that piece. It was just a scrap that was on my desk. Or maybe on one of the small ones, so I can scrunch it up a little bit. And then what I've done is I've torn pieces of some of the papers to get elements and things out of it, like flowers, a bit of text. There's some more text there, look. We've got some blue bits of florals. There's a floral thing. So you can, if I want one that's going to be a sideways on, you know, and you just build up your layers. So let's have a look at that. And I quite like to keep some of the straight edges, so that could go on there, and we could make that into a little pocket in there to pop something in. And what else could I put behind? A bit of scrappy something. Now, what you could do is do your collaging beforehand so that your eyelet goes through the collage. But as I haven't done that, it doesn't matter, because we can put something else on. So let's have a look. What have I got over here that would match? I could cut that down a little bit. Let me just take some of the edge off there because it's quite a big splodge. There we go. And that bit there. That won't get wasted. We'll put it back in the wax box. There we go. Let me turn it over onto the front. So I'm going to glue this on. To there, and then with my bit of tool we can squish that underneath there. There we go. Squish that down. Might just need a little bit more. There we are. And then we'll put this little label, and this was just on one of the papers. There we are. That's made as a little pocket. And then where's my little flowers or butterflies? We could put a little butterfly on. Oh, that's going to stick anyway. So it was obviously meant to be. I'll just pop a bit more where it's bubbling over. There we go. And then let's find something to go in the pocket there. And I've got these little tickets in my stash. So we'll just do that. Now then, to make it look a bit more like a ticket, I'm just going to make some little divots in the sides there between Just ink there, make them more ticket-like, and then maybe fold that one over, and that one folded. Let's have a look. Let me just do the corners again. There we go. Right. There we are. So we've got a little ticket there. And then just to pretty it up a little bit, let's have a look at, I've got a little flower. Let's find him one that's really small and dainty. Maybe I could cut one up. No. I've got some leaves. It's just a little flower I need now. Oh, what's that? There we go. I'll put that. I just make sure I haven't got any smaller leaves. There we go. I've got a little tiny leaf there. And I need to fill up my collard glue. There we are. And then maybe a little word. What have we got? Yeah, that'll do. Pop it down there. A bit of it under the flower. There we go. So that's the front. And you can stitch these as well if you want. Excuse me, I'm just pulling my chair a little bit further in. Let's have a look what we've got here. I'm going to let that dry and we'll work on the front of another one. Now we can put a little bit of page on maybe. Got some French vintage book page here. And we'll pop that on there. Oops. Maybe go as far as I can. Up there. And then what else can we do? Got that little rose, which is nice. And that's from the cut out from the kit as well. And then what have we got? I was wondering if a little stamp, maybe on the other one. Another floral, I think. I do like my flowers. Or maybe one of these that I've been, yeah, one of these that I fussy cut out. I tried to cut them out on my Cricut, but for some reason it kept tearing on the paper. So I've ordered a soapstone so that I can sharpen my blade, because they're quite expensive to buy, and it seems such a wasteful thing to do, just throw them away. You think they'd have a recycling policy for these things, that you could, you know, send them back in the post and then they could give you a voucher or something, you know, for a few pennies off the next lot. We're such a throwaway society at times. So there we are, that's a nice little one. I'll put some little gems and things on, and then we'll loop some things through the we'll loop something through the eyelets. So there's those. That's a sideways one on, and we've got that one to do. So let's have a look. I quite like, let's do that one next. I quite like that. And I don't mind it hanging over the page on that one. And then we'll put some book page on the back of there as well. Let's have a look. Yeah. And then we've got harmony. And maybe have a bit of lace hanging off that one. Let's have a look. We've got some nice lace handy. I think we have. Courtesy of Angela Kerr. I love her lace bundles. I could open a lace shop, the amount I've bought from that I've bought from her. But we like to support our creators. So there we go. Let's have a look. If I I put that on the bottom first. There we go. Put the lid back on there. Oops. There we are. Try and keep my desk free a little bit. Yeah. So we'll put this down first. And we'll just ink a little bit over the edge. There we are. And then we'll pop this one on. We put the top on because it's bubbling over. Just roll that down a little bit. There we go. And then we've got what we got here. No, don't want another flower because I quite like that on its own. But what we got? Have a look at that. No, needs something, a bit of something. Harmony needs a word, I know that. Harmony, and maybe a number or something. So let's see if we've got a little number to go in that top right hand corner. Let's have a look. Maybe a number 1. No, not that one. I will leave those out. I think it's going to be the number 1, but I might have one in a different colour. Let's have a look. number 5. It's a bit big, I think. I'm short on numbers actually. I'll have to get fussy cutting. Oh, what's this one? Number 5. Oh. Maybe a number down the bottom. With harmony. Oh, I hope I'm in shot. No. No, butterfly. That's what it needs. It needs a butterfly. If all else fails. There we go. Perfect. So we'll glue that down. I like him a bit ski-whiff. Shall I put that behind there? Seems a bit pointless really, seeing as there's no flowers. No. Put it back in my flower box. And then we'll give the butterfly a bit of glue. And pop it. Shall we pop it that way? Yeah. There we go. That's number 3. And what we're going to do on this one, let's have a play. We've got some bit of a flower. I cut that bit up. There's a bit of text there. Go on that one. Text. I'll keep that one because that'll make another pocket. Because I'll make one that's slightly larger. And I'll get some old book page. I do like to use my book page. Have I got anything? Strips. Oh, I've got some lovely flowers there. That might be nice to pop a flower on top of some book page. Where is it? Yeah. There we are. And a bit of lace. Oh no, hang on. Put a bit of this on the bottom as well. So I'm just going to lift up the bottom of there if I can. Put the strip of lace on. There we go. Oh no, I'll put it on the top, I think. It's a bit bulky. And then we'll trim the edge. There we go. I do love those flowers, but it doesn't really show up much. That's something. Let's have a look. That might be nice if I fussy cut round there. Stick that on that side with the rose. What can we put underneath? Got another bit of text. Let's have a look. Would that go underneath there? Just to give another layer. Yeah, just giving it a little bit of a added interest. Lay them on top of one another. And then we'll stick that on there. And then same again, lovely faithful butterflies, and we could put a what's this one? No, wrong colour. There's a bit of crochet there. Oh, talking of which, have we got any fabric? Oh, little snippets. I don't think I need it now, actually. I did get my fabrics out that I got from the retreat. Let's have a look. How about a little pink butterfly? So, there we go. Quite like that one there, I think. With a word or something underneath. Or maybe that nice number 5. Yeah, I like the number 5. It's actually my lucky number. There we go. I'll pop that on. Going that way, I think. So, let's have a look. So, I think what we'll do is we'll call it a day, and I'll decorate the reverses off camera because you get the gist of what I've done. And I'll take some photos of the reverses so you can see how they've turned out. And yeah, what we'll do in the meantime is I'm just going to get the ribbon for the eyelets, and we may as well continue with our crinkle ribbon because I've still got some left, so it carries on through the journal, and but it's coming to the end of it now, so we'll make some little tops. There we go. Try and get them so they're all even. There we go. So there's that. Or I didn't know whether to do it this way. We'll have a look now. Maybe just tie it at the top. That side's probably better if you decorate in the back. I'll do 2 like that, and then we'll do 2 with a bow just to make it a little bit different. Oops. Put that through there. There we go. There we go. There we are. There we are. So that's 4 little mini paper clips, and we'll get one of our journal pages and we'll have a look, see what we've got that I need to hold down. Where are they? It's not that one. Let's have a look. There we are, there's one. So I wanted to pop that on the side there, and we can't do it with that one, but we can do it with that. Oopsie daisy. No, wait a minute, I'll swap pages. Swap the pages over. Let's have a look. There we go. And we'll use this side, this one with the tuck spot. There we go. So that shows you how it holds it. But I think it needs to be an envelope or something. I'll put that one back to where I wanted it, and I'll make a different one for there. Let's have a look and see what we've got to go in there. I've got a letter there. We've got something in there. Let's have a look. There we go. Take it down a bit. There we are. So that's a nice little tuck for that envelope to hold it in place. I could have put one on there actually. Let's have another look. Instead of using that little paper clip. Oh, that's better. That's better, and I'll decorate the back on there. And yeah, lovely. So I'll leave it out there and I'll come back to that. I'll decorate the back and I'll show you later. So enjoy the rest of the collaboration, everybody. This is more of a design team project, really, because I'm not buddying up to make these. So it's just an extra video alongside the collaboration videos to highlight Rachel's lovely kit and to give you some ideas of what you can do with it. And yeah, and for me to use some of my scraps. So thanks for joining me this evening, or should I say this afternoon, and I hope to see you in my next video. Please give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.